Okay, as I said, or as the title shows anyway, this is me adjusting and playing around with this camera setup. What it is the brand Stuntman. I got this direct from the manufacturer. I got this direct from China. This is brand new. This is obviously brand new kind of deal. And I got it fitting just a little loose because I want to have not overalls, coveralls. I want to have my coveralls, you know, a little bit loose. And the thing is, I want to be able to simply slide it on and off kind of deal. And it moves good enough kind of deal here. I can move. I got plenty of movement kind of deal. No problems there. Still got good reach. And I got about a foot between me and the camera. I do have it set up like that. Let's see if you can see it here. I forget the camera shooting, so I can't. I showed it in the mirror here, but I do have a good amount of here, so I can actually see if it's on. Make sure it's on at all times. That's the only real failure point, is it shuts off. I already went through with AI and everything else and made sure the settings are set up properly. This is not connected to any network or anything like that. It's in airplane mode all the time. You know, it's nothing's going to run. You know, it's never going to update. It's simply a camera. So what it is if you wondered, it is a what is it? Samsung S23 Plus with 512 gigabytes. Like I'm saying, this came from the manufacturer. That came from China kind of deal. Simple as that. And if I want to address you guys, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to find a mirror somewhere. This is actually, if you're wondering what this mirror is, it's all artistic, right? Now, this mirror is actually from, it's an old television. It was a projection TV, and this is the back glass. So I tore that up, flipped it over, and yeah, saved it and made it a nifty little mirror, you know, for free. And the rest of the TV pretty much got tore up and sent off. But I thought the mirror was pretty cool, so I flipped it. But there you guys go. Anyway, this makes a nice little mirror. If I want to adjust you guys, there you guys go. I'm going to find a mirror here. I'll find one, you know, somewhere. I got a couple in the house, and then I got a couple in the barn. You know, maybe I'll set one up better in the barn if I'm talking to you guys in that regard. For the most part, though, this is just going to be POV cameras. In the the daily thought stuff will probably be just me and you. I'm not going to play around with this editing program at all. You know, kind of deal. I'm not going to do that because I don't know. It's just not as good as a simple POV of me. There goes a box. A simple POV of me doing this kind of deal. And like what that'll do is, though, it'll let me to maybe here. I got what I'll be listing here pretty soon. And I don't know if this is too high or too low or if it's perfect angle right now. So I'm just playing around with it. I might adjust it just a couple degrees kind of deal and figure out where it's got to be. Obviously I can see it, but I can't really see it that well because it's really, really dark. But it does look pretty dang good there, but I think I might be just a touch too high. Although if I step back, it actually looks good. No, that actually doesn't look that bad. So you guys have a pretty good thing. I might go down like 2 degrees, but like I'm saying, if I put the thing on, so I'm looking at where you guys can see that little green thing. It's actually pretty dang real. I'm within like a degree or two. I'm not going to mess around with it. But yeah, what you guys can see is like, you know, you guys can see, oh, where's my camera? You guys can actually see me do stuff. Flip that around. Camera, photo. There we are. So you guys can see me do like here, you know, if I wanted to list whatever, let's go with this. If I want to list that there, set that there, you guys can actually see what I'm doing here. You know, maybe zoom in just a bit there. And then there you go. So, and take a photo wherever, and you guys can see what I got going on, and maybe do a couple listings with me kind of deal, and all that. And that'll be a video, you know. Right now I have these grouped into groupings, grouping, and another grouping. And what those are is what are they? They are like collector series. So this is like the first whatever. I didn't plan on this. This is like the first set of group. Somebody wanted to start a cards. This is like 0 to like the first 25. This is the 25th to like the 50th ones. This is like the 50th to the 75th. Or no, I take it back. No, I didn't plan on that. Like I'm saying, I ain't 100% plan on that, but there you go. Oh yeah, and then, so this is the higher tier ones, the 3/4 higher tier ones. This is the like 0, this is the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Just in case somebody wants to collect those quarters, maybe they have all of the first, they don't have the back end, so they want the back end. And then this, I also threw in some other collectors throughout the series kind of deal, but for the most part, this is 3/4, or this is the third last quarter of the pack. Anyway, that's how you do it kind of deal, is you make little bundles kind of deals. You know, you just make nifty little bundles. And that's how I pretty much make those listings anyway. Instead of selling them individually for like $3 a card or something crazy, you just bundle them up. But there you guys go. You know, I'll show you stuff like that kind of deal. And I'm just checking out the angles at this point. This is my photo booth, in case you guys haven't done one of those. I have a little thing up there that was for Whatnot shows kind of deal, which would hold the camera and shoot it down vertically. I have it's a drafting table. It's a little messy in here, obviously. But I simply have a poster board set up. So I have 2 poster boards set up. Those little 3-panel poster boards set up. And then I simply, what did I do? I threw some like clamps on here. Or like, if you can see it up there, some little paper clips up top there. You know, and that just makes a background kind of area. And then this makes it extremely deep here, where I can go all the way back and put something crazy there. This is like, I want to say it's like 43 inches wide. So I can put a ton of stuff in here. You know, and also I can take photos and stage stuff to the right here. And then, you know, move it to the left or whatever if I don't box it. But I usually box it right away kind of deal. Got some gloves and such in there, so I can do that. And yeah, just some simple drop lights, you know. And I have some more drop lights right there that extend up for clothing and such, but I'm not doing any more of that anymore. Those will end up going in the barn here for when I do show you guys stuff. I'll start using that kind of lighting in the barn, but I do have a barn whole setup I want to do out there with lighting. But right now, that's where I'm at. So yeah, there you go. You got this and this and this. Maybe I'll show you guys how I'm doing a listing kind of deal. So there you guys go. But this is just me playing around with the setup and showing you guys what's going on here with this kind of deal. And yeah, that's as simple as that. So that'll let me do that. And the big thing, like I'm saying, that'll let me look up things. You know, jump on chat and play around. And you know, here we are. Setting things up all the way down, please. Setting things up with this, and you guys can actually see what I'm doing. In case I pull up like a diagram or something, I don't want to pull anything up not having it planned, you know, the photos and all that. But, you know, I'll be able to show you guys simple stuff of, you know, yeah, here's the exploded view of this part. You know, this is where these bolts are. That's a 15, that's a 15, that's an 18, that's a 13 kind of deal. And I'll be able to show you on this. And the whole point of this is don't disrupt workflow. Once I'm going, I don't want to stop. And by doing that, everything's all voice cued. I don't have to stop. I don't have to touch this. I should eventually be able to wear this like 5 to 8 hours. Forget it's on. Or not forget it, obviously. But, you know, not mind it. This means I'm working. This will mean I'm working. You know, if this is on, I'm tearing stuff apart, or I'm listing, or whatever. If this is off, I'm done with eBay stuff. And simple as that. When I get done here, I'm going to bring it downstairs. I'm going to simply plug it in and drop those videos. And I can do all that without taking it out of the harness. That's also a huge plus. It's a little hard, but I can still do it kind of deal. Simple as that. So there you guys go. That's what that's going to be. That's where this is going to end kind of deal. And yeah, and like I'm saying, I don't have my cheat sheet anymore. I've trained myself at this point. I got all those down. It's not complicated, really. That's another part. I don't have to remember any weird sayings or anything like that. It's good. It's perfect. You know, kind of deal. It's only 1 through 7. It's nothing crazy. like something. I don't have to remember any, like the first round where I had to do something. I don't have to do like a whole bunch of clicks on a little foot pedal that I started around with. I was going to use a foot pedal, which would have been great for the head unit, which is over here. That's what I started with. I made a head unit, which is tethered up here and all kinds of stuff. And free hat, you got it. You get them all the time, I'm sure. Free hat, cheap camera, and that was my first kind of setup of how to do POV views. And yeah, it kind of worked. It worked, didn't work that bad, but honestly, wasn't great, It's a little bit forward heavy, as you imagine, but it's cheap. And all I did is I simply modified the back here. I got about $20 into it, The expense was the cord. And here you go, Terra cord, so it can't pull it. It's going to hit this before it hits that. Zip tied, and that was my first little attempt at a POV. And I simply came to the conclusion that's not going to work in the barn. And I was like, well, I could still use a laptop in the barn and simply use the foot pedal in the barn kind of deal. And then I was like, you know what? Still not going to work. Still not going to work how I want it to work. So that was abandoned. The whole foot pedal thing was, and I started moving into this this plan where I'm doing this. So that was the whole thing. That was the whole thing. I'm gonna tear that down now, or at least put it away. I still have it up in case I do decide to do a heads up POV on the thing, but there's no need. I got this. It's 512 gigabytes. I went as high as I could. Basically, because it was like 440. 400, let's call it 450 after taxes and all that. So for $450, I can't buy anything even close, which is why I went with the phone. If you're wondering why I went with the phone, there you go. $450, I can't touch it. This little thing needed it anyway, no matter what I did for a POV. Chest mount's probably the best unit. The other one was like maybe a shoulder mount up here. But if I move my shoulder, the camera's going to do something crazy. Hat mount, if I go under a car, it's going to hit. I guarantee I'm going to hit it. I can't wear baseball caps half the time I hit my head on stuff. I can't wear a welding mask. I won't be welding with this, but no, or maybe I will. I'll just throw a thing over top of it. You guys won't be able to see anything. But simple as that, and maybe I can rig this up to set it up in the barn somewhere and have a thing. The only huge downside to this, is I cannot have a microphone, because what I'm going to do, I don't have my battery pack with me, I forgot to bring it home this morning, is have a battery pack, like I'm saying, I'm going to be wearing this with my thing, but I need to have a battery pack on me, which will give me like 8 hours of uninterrupted issues, and that's going to have a cord plugged into it, right here, the USB-C, but because I have the cord plugged into it, the USB-C, I cannot use a microphone. So me and the AI have had a couple hours to discuss this. I can't do a microphone. So these are going to be a little bit quieter than if I had a shotgun mic mounted up here somewhere and it's pointed at my face. It's a compromise. It's something that it's going to be a little bit quieter than people with shotgun mics, because I want to have the thing plugged in all the time. Right now it's not plugged in because I'm just getting used to it. But I do want to have it eventually plugged in at all times. I'm going to have the battery on me, in like a coat pocket or a sweatshirt pocket, and simply have that plugged in at all times. That way I can record 5-8 hours without an issue, and I'm not doing videos the entire time. The whole point is I can say those cues when I want to do a video. When I don't want to do a video, I simply say the cues to stop the video, and then it just keeps recording. I don't have to touch it. It keeps recording the entire time, and then when I'm done, I simply drop the video in. It might take a while for it to copy that video. It's going to copy the entire video, and then it's going to split up all those takes that I did. Maybe I do 10 takes in a day. I'm only going to do 1 take today because I just want to make sure everything works with this camera. And then after that, I will probably, I'll play with it tomorrow. I'll probably do 4 or 5 takes. After that, maybe I'll do like 10 takes in a day. It doesn't matter how many I do. It just matters. I want to make sure it works first. And I want to make sure this phone works. I know the S25, it works with the S25. No reason why it shouldn't work with this S23. I just want to make sure everything works how it's supposed to work, kind of deal. And if you're wondering, it really doesn't matter, but if you're wondering, 1080p, 30 frames per second, so I can get it maximum thing. And the huge thing, it's not going to heat up the phone. The phone can run for a full 10 hours, especially if it's plugged in. It can run for a full 10 hours, have a full 10-hour day out of it. Me just walking around kind of deal, doing stuff. And it's one of those. If I see something cool, I think it's going to make a cool video, I'll shoot it. Simple as that. Or I'll make a take out of it. Simple as that. If it's just me walking around doing whatever, it's not doesn't really matter, kind of deal. Simple as that. And I can just say that whole voice-based cue system, and I don't have to touch it. I don't have to be here touching it, playing around. I can simply go throughout my day, and if I think I want to do a video, finish that up, keep doing whatever, Right now I could take lunch. I could take lunch with this thing on, potentially. And, I'm not going to the store with it on, but I can walk around the property with it on. I could watch TV with it on. It's not whatever between the takes, between the finalized takes, mind you, it can be recording between the takes because it's never going to pick that up. It's only picking up completion between 1 and 7. Anything outside of 1 and 7, it doesn't care about at all. So there you guys go. And like I'm saying, I do got to play around with the time lapse just a little bit because right now that's another thing this camera should fix versus that camera is what I have a slight pause on the time lapse. If you look at the previous ones, you'll be able to see it. But when I say the time lapse I have a small little glitch. It's not something with the programming. It's something in the phone that it was doing it. So it was actually something in the phone, but it's also something I can just tweak just a little bit and potentially fix. But it might not actually fix it. It wasn't doing it before, but it's doing it now. And I know why it's doing it now. It's because I pushed cue detection out, so they're more reliable. But then I get that little pause sometimes where it'll freeze the frame. So I'm going to show you right now. Six. Okay, that's enough of that. Anyway, when I'm actually doing a real time lapse, you guys will, it actually matter. That was just me moving around basically so that it would show stuff. But you might have seen a pause there. All right, or I'll review this later and I'll see if I seen a pause. Kind of deal. And you might have even heard a little bit of bleed through of that last one, getting back to normal speed. And it's just playing around. I got to maybe do a little bit of tweaks to it, but it's 99% perfect, and considering I made it over less than 2 months, that I figure it's a win, So I'm going to wrap this up right here, this take. I'm going to wrap this take up right here, and there you guys go. So, but yeah, I do want to play around with that time lapse just a little bit more. I just tested it in here and see if it's actually still doing it with this phone. It might have fixed it with this phone. I don't know. It might have detection issues with this phone. I don't know. We're going to find out when this video goes up. I don't see any issue why it wouldn't go up, any issue why it would be an issue at all. you never know until you figure out these glitches, you know, kind of deal. So anyway, I'm going to end this one here. It's already too long for what it is. And there you guys go. This is my setup. Stuntman harness. It's actually called Stuntman. That's the brand, I think. Yes. Stuntman harness. Simple as that. Lots of reach. Easy move. I'm not going to do anything crazy with you guys here, hopefully. But, you know, simple, and it's only about that far to give you an idea. So, let's say, oh, 4 inches off my chest. So it's pretty dang close without being excessively close. But good stabilization. I can bounce around. And the stabilization's on there, so it shouldn't go crazy. But there's a setup, you know. That's all this is about. And I'm going to end this one here, even though I said it like 5 times now. Sorry for that. So, yeah. See you guys. Thank you.